I would like to try to provide a little clarity for you as far as converting some of these volume measurements. It's a really common mistake that I see a lot of students make when they try to convert cubic meters to another cubic sort of unit. And so I want to explain to you why you have to do it the way that you do. Let's say, for example, that you have a box that is 1 meter on a side. And so if this box is 1 meter on a side, you also know that it would be 100 centimeters on a side. Now, if I calculate the area of this box, I'm going to take the length times the width, just like what I would always do for area. If I did it in meters, what I would find is that I would have 1 cubic meter. But if I did it in centimeters, I have 100 times 100, which is going to be 10,000 square centimeters. I said cubic, I meant square. So 1 square meter is the same as 10,000 square centimeters. Now the conversion factor that you know is that 1 meter is 100 centimeters, but that's only for length. It doesn't translate to square centimeters, and it certainly does not translate to cubic units either. So if I have a box like this, it's actually a cube, and it also is 1 meter on a side. So I have 1 meter over, a 1 meter back, 1 meter up. Then the volume of this box, 1 times 1 times 1, is 1 cubic meter. But if I wanted in centimeters, this is going to be 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters. So now what I have is actually 1,000,000 cubic centimeters that is equivalent to 1 cubic meter. So that's why when you convert cubic units of one measure to cubic units of another, you have to be really, really careful. In example 1.8, he converts 2.88 cubic centimeters into liters. So let's work through that using the conversion factors that I have taught you. So if I start out with 2.88 cubic meters, always, again, take what you're given and you put it over 1. Now, this meter is cubed because it is a volume measurement. So while it is true that 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters, that's only for length. So I'm going to have to do that because this is cubed. I have to do that 2 more times in order to be able to cancel out everything if I'm going to convert this to cubic centimeters. So meters cubed means I have to take meters times meters times meters, and I'm going to cancel that out like that. Okay? Then, since I'm trying to get it into liters, you learned in the section before that 1 cubic centimeter is the same as 1 milliliter. They're exactly the same. Okay? So again, a centimeter times a centimeter times a centimeter makes a centimeter cubed. And so now I have my conversion into milliliters. They asked for it in liters. So I have milliliters. I want to put it into liters. I know that 1 liter is the same as 1,000 milliliters. So milliliters is going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with liters. So what you've got here is 2.88 times 100 times 100 times 100 divided by 1,000, and so you should end up with 2,880 liters. Okay, so that is where he gets what he wrote in his example as 2.88 cubic meters times, he took all three of these and he put them into one conversion, 100 centimeters per 1 meter, and he took the whole thing and he cubed it. So he did this 3 times, and so another way you can write it is like this. But you have to be careful so that when you actually type the numbers into your calculator, when you're figuring out the final answer, that you make sure that you multiply by 100 3 times and that you don't forget that. And then you could finish the conversion by going 1 milliliter per 1 cubic centimeter times 1 liter over 1,000 milliliters. So again, if you choose to write it this way, which is perfectly fine, you just have to be sure that you take 2.88 times 100 times 100 times 100 because you're cubing it. Then you're going to divide by 1,000 and you'll end up with 2,880 liters. So same answer that he got, just a little bit different way to look at it, a different way to think about it, if that helps that to make that a little bit more clear for you.